Good morning. It's good to be with you all, and it's really bittersweet. Yeah. But I have missed you, and I will miss you. But more on that later. So good morning and welcome to First Parish Brewster. We are a Unitarian Universalist welcoming congregation of people of diverse philosophies and beliefs, people of various cultures and races, sexual orientations, gender identities, abilities, and socioeconomic backgrounds. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your journey, may this be a place of rest and restoration. I'm Reverend Jessica Clay, happy to be welcoming you to the service today with our interim music director, Kaiza Fern. Where's Kaiza? There you are. And our director of Lifespan Religious Education, Twinks Hastings. Our services are recorded and available on our YouTube channel midweek. We do ask that all over the age of, oh wait, that's old. You don't have to mask. Masks are optional. I forgot to take out that line. Please, at this time, silence your cell phones. We ask that all wear name tags or fill out the sticker name tags in an effort to be more welcoming. We also welcome the noises, movements, and mirth that little ones bring to our services. And Eleanor is here. She's in the nursery. But she is on the premises. For those of you who may be first-time visitors this morning, welcome. Are there any visitors who'd like to introduce themselves? We can bring a mic to you. Okay, hold on one sec. We'll bring a mic to you.
Good morning. I'm Kathy Casa. This is my husband, Ron Casa. We're visiting in South Yarmouth this weekend. But we are visitors from the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Vero Beach, where your new interim is leaving us. So we wanted to check everything out, and and I'm going to tell you, you're getting the best. I'm very happy for you. Yep.
Oh, welcome. Thank you for introducing yourselves. Anyone else? Oh, was there a hand? I see a hand in the back. Back left.
Hi, Marilyn Marshall and Rick Rickard from the Mainline Unitarian Church in Devon, PA. Original home of Topper and Maureen.
They said the original home of Topper and Maureen, who are members of our musical team. Okay, so choir and multiple other things. Any other visitors? Okay, well, welcome. If you'd like to learn more about First Parish Brewster, please fill out a welcome card found on the back of the pew in front of you and place it in the offertory basket. Welcome on this morning, which we make sacred by our presence together. And let's give a wave to people streaming. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Today, after the service, there will be the briefest of coffee hours. So it's not even an hour. It's going to be about 30 minutes so that we can reset the sanctuary. You can say hello to me in the receiving line, and then we will come in here for our annual meeting. Who's excited? Who's planning on staying? Okay, that's a lot of hands. That's great, because I was going to guilt you into it, but now I don't need to. Great, so please do stay for the annual meeting after. Take care of any needs that you need to after the service, and then come back in for our annual meeting. Welcome to the service today. It is so good to be together.
Like most of us, I assume I am not the biggest fan of goodbyes. Goodbyes at their core are just change. And we've talked a lot about change around here over the last few months. However, like any change, I have learned that there is a good and not so good way to approach goodbyes. This lesson was hard learned for me. Before working at First Parish, I spent a decade as a director working at the YMCA overnight summer camps, Burgess and Hayward in Sandwich. Every summer, we had around 200 young staff members from all over the world. And as often the case when you're onto a good thing, staffers would invite their friends to come out the next year. And really, camp became one big family year after year. This was the case for me too. My cousin came out, my friend from school came and joined me, my good friend Sarah invited her brother, who became my best friend, to come out, and he asked his good friend Bobby to join us. The three of us spent many great summers together. Craig and Bobby joined me here at some First Parish events. We had some wild nights in Hyannis. But mostly, what we loved doing together, more than anything, was dreaming up wild and wonderful adventures, games, and random creative activities for the 500 children in our care. In a world where the stereotype of working with children is seen as a predominantly female profession, it was such a blessing to be surrounded by beautiful, gentle, caring, loving, male-presenting folks. Bobby and Craig soon became the assistant directors, so we worked closely together over many summers, responding to the random chaos that only summer camp can bring. A British staff person parking the 15-seater van on a hill and forgetting the emergency brake. The three of us had to coordinate it being pulled out of the lake later that day. Bats in cabins, geese in sailboats, a forest fire, first aids, and countless cases of homesickness in the staff, and a few in the campers. These two were so good at what we did, I adored and admired them. We also laughed all day long. Craig is from England and Bobby Scotland, so our humor aligned. I genuinely believed for a while that the three of us working together would change the world. On our last summer together, Bobby let us know that his Army Reserve unit had been drafted to Afghanistan. Bobby had joined the reserves for the physical fitness and leadership experience. I don't believe he ever imagined that he would see active combat. I had some big feelings about it. I was scared for him, and I couldn't imagine this gentle human who showed compassion and love fighting in a war that I perceived as pointless. As an Army Reserve, in theory, Bobby could choose not to go. But I think the reality is that he would never let his soldiers down, and his sense of responsibility for leading his team was strong. He also captained the Scottish lacrosse team, and really led from a place of walking beside his subordinates. He would never leave his soldiers to go out there alone. It was one of those you don't need to, but you kind of need to scenarios. He was shipping out in September, so we had a couple of weeks post-summer camp to just be together before he left. I shared with him my worries, my disappointment, and concerns over the summer. But on the eve of his leaving, we had a beautiful night by the pond, the three of us sharing memories and just loving up on each other. I held in my own fears and opinions about what he was about to do. However, as he boarded the bus in the morning, after tearful hugs goodbye, I just couldn't help myself. I blurted out, "I can't believe you're doing this. You're going out there to be killing children when you could be here changing kids' lives. Please don't go." He turned back and glared at me, but left without another word. 3 months later, my phone rang. It was our camp boss, Bruce. "Twinks," he said, "Bobby has been killed in Afghanistan." He was on patrol in an armored car that hit an IED. Bobby and 2 others in the vehicle were just sat in the wrong place. The regret I have about my last words to Bobby still sit in a deep place in my stomach. Losing Bobby changed me in so many ways. But one thing I know is that I will never leave anyone I care about again with words that are not loving and affirming, no matter how mad I am at them. Of all the things I could have said to Bobby, how proud I was to know him, the things he taught me over the years, and the truth that my life is better because I knew him, I went with, I can't believe you're going out there to kill children. Goodbyes and change are hard, painful, sad, and sometimes forever. And the path we take during these transition times is so important for our souls and spirits. It's important to speak your truth to the ones you love, and it's important to part in a way that won't leave you with lifelong regrets. On my more compassionate days, I can find forgiveness for myself. I didn't want Bobby to go to war, and he was well aware of that. And I was desperate as I said goodbye to him. On other days, I just feel shame at needing my own personal opinions to be the last word. As we walk through the next month of goodbyes to Reverend Jessica and a lifetime of other goodbyes to come, I invite you to reflect on how you want them to look and feel, because we truly never know if it will be the last words someone hears from your lips.
No, it's not.
Let's take a breath together. We light this chalice flame this morning to remind us to be present in this moment, this link between what was and what yet shall be. May this flame gather us in and hold us in joy and gratitude.
I invite you to turn to your gray hymnal, number 298, and please rise in body or spirit. Join in. We are going to sing the first 3 verses and then the last verse, which is verse 5. And the ensemble is going to join us on verse 2 and then play to the end. Okay, ensemble? Verses 1, 2, 3, and 5.
Feel the deep
Please join me in our unison affirmation. We believe in love.
Love is the doctrine of this church.
We believe in truth.
The quest for truth is its sacrament.
We believe in helping others.
And service is our prayer.
We believe in the sacredness of life.
To the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine.
Okay, I'd like to invite any little ones up for our time for all ages this morning. You can come on up down here. Good morning. Come on in, and you can go ahead and have a seat on the floor. Good morning. I think we have one more coming. Come on down this side, yep. Good morning. So our story this morning is from the Goodbye book by Judith Viorst. Has anyone read it? Okay. This is the story of a little boy who found himself at home one night and his parents were getting ready to go to dinner. "Don't go," he said. "I don't want you to go to a French restaurant and leave me home. I want you to take me to McDonald's." Okay, maybe McDonald's isn't an option because I don't even think there is a McDonald's on the Cape. Is there? Oh, there is. Yarmouth, okay. Dennis, okay. I've been corrected. Well, he didn't know that. He said, "I'll even go to the French restaurant." And he took out a scarf and he started dancing around because that's what he thought happened in French restaurants. And how do you think his parents responded? Not happy. And what do you think they said? "You're going to have fun with the babysitter." "No, I won't have fun with the babysitter. I hate babysitters. They could make you eat vegetables, and after that they could make you watch only the TV programs they want to watch." What TV programs do you think those are? PBS. Hallmark Channel. That's if I'm babysitting. Love Island. That's an interesting babysitter we've got going on. Survivor. We have a range of babysitters here. And then he said they could make you go to the bathroom before you go to bed, even when you don't have to. And then the little boy got sick all of a sudden. He said, "I'm getting sick right this second. I mean, my head hurts so much, I can't even see, and my knee hurts so much I can't walk, and my throat hurts so much. I can't swallow supper or water or anything except a little chocolate chip ice cream. I mean, maybe I'm dying." What do you think his parents said to him? "You'll feel better soon." "No, I won't feel better soon," he said. "I won't feel better ever. You're still going to go even though my temperature is probably 108 or 110? But then he began to see reason. He tried to negotiate. "Don't go until you read me one more book." "Okay, half a book." "Okay, how about a Mary Oliver poem?" How many of you have had negotiators in your household? Then his feelings came. "I'm really mad now," he said. I mean, tomorrow when you say good morning to me, I'm not going to say good morning. And tomorrow when you say, "Guess who we met at the restaurant last night?" I'm not going to guess. And tomorrow when you say, "Let's read a book," I'm going to cover up my ears and I'm not listening. I won't even be here. Maybe I'll run away and find a new family that always stays home and never goes to French restaurants. You're going to be so sad, you're going to cry and cry And then he realized, you're still going to go to the restaurant? Stop it. I don't want that. I don't want a goodbye kiss. I don't want to say goodbye. I'm not saying goodbye. I'll never say goodbye. And what do you think they did? They left. And quickly he started reading a book with a babysitter and looked back towards the door and said, goodbye. So ends our story. You all can head downstairs if you'd like. And I invite those of us who are staying to get ourselves in a position for meditation and prayer. So if you have something in your hands, to set it down. Maybe rest your feet on the ground. Notice if any parts of your body are clenched. Maybe relax them, breathe into them. Let's just breathe together for a moment. I'm going to read our prayer, and then we will enter a time of silence, and then I will invite us to come out in song. Is there not a goodbye in every hello, a death in every birth, an ending in every beginning? Doesn't everything change? What comfort can you give us, O Eternal One? We do not know how to be at peace with all the change. We hold on tight to what is now, willing it to stay just so. We ask and we listen to anything you might say or show to help us loosen our fearful grip on what we wish to claim as ours to keep. We listen for a voice that might say, "Be not afraid. I am with you through it all. Stay in love with it all from one day to the next, from one change to the next. Love what is joyful, love what is hard, love what leaves, love what comes next. Love it all. Then you will be all right." worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are. Though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Ours is no caravan of despair. Though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times,
beginning again on the continuous journey. By the grace of divine power, which is larger-hearted than we can ever imagine, we are constantly given the opportunity to begin again. As the signposts along the continuous journey suggest, twists and turns, we had not brought into view, for the focus was on the mountain just up ahead, beyond the ridge. By the faith of the divine power that lives through the trust of our human ability, we are constantly offered the challenge to test the waters, not just to smooth the inevitable ripples to a gloss finished as if that were the goal in life, losing all character by not realizing. The swells are what make life interesting, intriguing, and indescriptible. By the law of divine power, whose very core is compassion for our earthly missteps on this journey, we are constantly given an opening to remember that we each have a place in the kingdom of humanity, and the knowledge and courage to begin again towards a faith-filled, loving grace that is our birthright.
Before the choir sings this, I just wanted to mention that I'm looking through the collection of music. I found this first parish affirmation that was actually composed for the 300th anniversary of this church in 2000. And then when I brought it to the choir, it turned out that there were a couple of choir members who had a connection to the woman who wrote this piece, the composer.
So Anne MacDonald Deers, who wrote this piece, was a dear friend of mine and her husband Harmon. I met them singing in the Chatham Chorale and their chamber singers back in 1997. Actually performed this piece when it was performed here in 2000. They were the sweetest couple in the world. Anne was a tremendous musician. Her husband was a band leader. I should say Kaisa has written a instrumental part for this who Harmon would have loved because it's in his style. She didn't know that, but she matched what he would have done for her, a lot of her pieces that he wrote. And not only were they very dear friends, the home we live in New Orleans, they used to own. So we have a very deep connection with this woman.
That was so beautiful, choir and ensemble. Thank you for that. Thank you, Kaisa, for finding it. What a lovely piece of music. Each week, we have the practice of splitting our offertory plate. Half of what's collected goes to the work of First Parish Brewster, and half goes to a worthy organization in the community. This morning's offering is a split plate with Nauset Interfaith Association. The Nauset Interfaith Association represents about 25 congregations on the Lower and Outer Cape that send clergy or lay representatives to monthly steering committee meetings. They sponsor several annual interfaith events, a Thanksgiving service, a Martin Luther King Jr. breakfast, and a Holocaust memorial service. They also support 5 action teams that work on issues of racism, at-risk youth, immigrants and refugees, income inequality, and early childhood education. How many people in here have been involved with Nauset Interfaith in some way or another? Yes, look around. Keep your hands up, please. Yes. This congregation has strong ties with them, and this is one more way that we can strengthen this tie. So there are several ways you can give today. You can text to give, the number's in your order of service. You can place cash or a check in the offertory basket. If you're watching online, you can give on our website. However you choose to give today, we thank you for your generosity. The offertory will now be gratefully received.
There is a season, turn, turn.
Thank you, choir. That was so beautiful. It's so nice to have you here for my first service back. What a treat. So back in April of 2018, I'm remembering my years, everything's a blur with the pandemic in the middle. Who remembers what happened in April of 2018? My installation and ordination. And you said these words to me. Jessica, we, the members of First Parish Brewster Unitarian Universalist, have come to know and respect you. We are opening our hearts with you and to you and placing our trust in you as our minister. We ask that you be open and trusting with us and to partner with us in love, shared purpose, and responsibility. Installation is a covenantal relationship, you said. We began our relationship together by making promises centered in love. It is so good to be back together with you this morning, and so bittersweet. For those who are visiting who have no idea what is going on, I have been on parental leave, and during my leave, I announced that I am leaving this congregation. So this is my first Sunday back for the visitors. I have missed all of you, and it was difficult to not begin to process my goodbye with you when I announced it. I have loved this congregation and this staff so much over these past 6 years. I'm sorry that we won't have several months to say goodbye, but what we do have is 4 Sundays, including this one. 4 Sundays to be present with one another, to share the love that we have for one another, and to process the end of my ministry with you. So we are in this liminal space, held by the bonds of covenant. The promises that we made to each other will hold us in this time. The word liminal comes from limen, which means threshold or doorway, as an in-between time where we process the past and the future is unclear. So 6 years ago, I was in search. I had interviewed with a couple of congregations during the first round and didn't find anything that felt like a match. I put my name in for Brewster during the second round, curious to explore this possibility. When I was coming to the Cape to pre-candidate, I was nervous, and I kept calling it the cod because I didn't know what people called it, and it just seemed like it flowed. I still have the cod magnet on my fridge. I was a new minister. I wanted to impress the search committee and to explore this area and see if it could feel like home. One of my internship supervisors, Reverend Rob Eller-Isaacs, said, "All you have to know is, will you be able to love them? That's all you need to know." And I came and I spent the weekend with your search committee, and I saw that loving them came so naturally. I'm seeing a couple members of the search committee. Where's Bob? There you are, yeah. At the end of the weekend, when we all sat over brunch at Spoon and Seed, and they said, "Will you be our candidate?" I instantly blurted out, "Yes!" Thus began our covenantal relationship with the love I felt for your search committee. There are so many ways that you all have surprised me, impressed me, and buoyed me over these past 6 years. We covenanted with each other when I was installed, we chose each other that day, and we continued to choose each other and this community from that day forward, well, previous to that as well. So I remember one time during my first year, I got an email from someone on social justice there was some, I was called during the administration that shall not be named. And there were a lot of reasons to gather out front for rallies. And I got an email from someone on social justice. I think a tragedy had occurred, and they said, we need to gather out front this afternoon. And I said to Twinks, there's like no advanced planning. We need to get the word out. You remember this? Mm-hmm. And she was like, don't worry, they'll come. And 100 people came. During my time with you, I spread out my asks so that when I did, it would count. So I did a pretty strong ask in the spring of 2019 for you all to sign up for Beloved Conversations, which is an anti-racism curriculum, and 53 of you did it. And the facilitator who came was so impressed that such a large percentage of this congregation had committed to a program, I think it was 8 or 12 weeks. And then at the Christmas Eve service that year, I handed out voter registration cards. And out of Beloved Conversations, some of that energy went into You the Vote for that following year, which was the next presidential election. And we sent out something like 14,000 Get Out the Vote postcards and letters. When I got the idea of having an all-church birthday party from a colleague of mine, I just randomly called up 13 of you and said, would you bake a cake? And you did. And people came and celebrated with each other, and you did in subsequent years. When we had our play services where we would start in the sanctuary and go play in different places, I would call up some of you and say, hey, can you lead drumming? Or can you do meditation in the sanctuary? Or can you do flower arranging? Or can you just do art out front? And you said yes. This congregation shows up when you ask for it. When there was a need, that need was met. And don't get me wrong, this is not to say that we haven't been through some hard times together. Over the past 6 years, you have offered me feedback which has shaped who I am as a minister. I came to you fresh out of my internship, and I have been changed by this covenantal relationship with all of you. You have also received my feedback with open hearts and minds. You are a different congregation than when I came 6 years ago. We have done the hard work of moving towards health together. And what's true is that churches can't avoid conflict. Has anyone been a part of a church that avoided conflict? It's not a thing. It's a natural part of being in relationship with each other, but I think sometimes we're still surprised when it shows up here. My clergy coach says conflict can either be a source of transformation or anxiety. I have watched this congregation continue to move towards health over my 6 years here. I have watched you all choose conflict as a source of transformation. I have watched you all choose boundaries, choose direct communication, and choose each other. You have also chosen me in so many ways. We continued to choose each other when the world shut down, when community was put to the test. We said yes to each other. Some of you may remember when the pandemic began, I foolishly said I thought it would be over in a couple of weeks. Yes, it's true. Then I crossed out the part on my card that said I could tell the future. During that time, we expanded our views of community and connection beyond Sunday mornings in person. Your board generously let me work from Salt Lake City for those first few months of the pandemic when we were entirely online, and that act of grace and generosity was and is so appreciated. Myself, Karina, and Twinks quickly became adept at Zoom and online worship to help us feel connected. We all pulled together because that was what was needed. The Children and Youth Ministries Committee went to people's houses and dropped off supplies. Our previous music director, Donica Buckley, made virtual choir videos. We all came together in beautiful ways. We did parking lot worships. Who remembers the parking lot worships? With a scissor lift. Where's Barry? Yeah, where's Barry? There you are. Yes, thank you, Barry. We did rituals in the rain. We reminded each other that love held us together over and over again. There is so much love and generosity within this congregation. And once we came back together in the summer of 2021, I got to share the joyous news that I had been hoping for so long. After 3 years of infertility, I was finally pregnant, and you welcomed this news with so much love and celebration. You threw me a beautiful baby shower and bought me almost every single thing on my registry. You showered me with blessings and homemade onesies. You knitted blankets and sweaters for Penelope. And when she was born, you celebrated again, complete with a confetti cannon. And when she died, suddenly, 5 days later, you gave me the space to grieve. You processed with each other so that I could begin learning how to carry this grief. And when I became pregnant again with Eleanor, you celebrated with me and held me in so much care. And this brings us here to today. In this liminal space, in this threshold, this doorway, if you will. And I will lead 3 more services after this before we say our final goodbyes. In every hello, there is a goodbye, and that's so true for this time we're in. But here's what I want you to take away from this sermon. Here's what I want you to take away from my ministry with you. You have been so easy to love. It has been a joy to serve as your minister, and this goodbye breaks my heart. I grieve that I will not know what happens with your stories, that another minister will be the one who comes to your house to share meals, to comfort when tragedy strikes, and to celebrate the joy that is inherent within this congregation. Thank you. Tissue break. Your stories that you shared with me over tea in your dining room, while looking at the flowers in your garden, in passing through the hallway after a meeting, these will always stay in my heart. Your beloveds that I have accompanied as they were dying and then memorialized within these walls, the couples that let me officiate their weddings, you will always be in my heart as well. It has been an honor to bless your babies, to know your children, and to know you. Good people of First Parish Brewster, we have been through so much together, and when I talk you up to the interim minister and to those who will apply to be your next settled minister, I will tell them that there is a deep sense of joy within this congregation. There is a deep sense of love and hope and incredible resilience. This is something to be proud of. I hope you are proud of it. Are you? Let's try it again. Are you? Yes. Okay. We did hard things together. You will continue to do hard things after I leave. You will continue to show up for each other. You will continue to dream big about the world you want to create together. You will continue to move towards health. When a minister begins serving a congregation, they are living in the echoes of the ministers who came before them. They are mindful of the history and the patterns they are creating for the ministers who will come after them. I hope that over this next month we can help each other end this ministry well, so that the echoes of this ministry can support and welcome the next. I am aware of lots of emotions in myself around this goodbye, as you have seen. And I'm aware there are a wide range of emotions in all of you with this goodbye. And as a people of covenant, I invite us to shape this goodbye in the best ways we can, to center our love for each other, to center our strength and resilience, and to remain within that covenanted relationship that we promised ourselves to. When you installed me as your minister, part of that covenant or promises I made to you was, I promise to nurture a sustainable ministry built on direct and open communication, a commitment to my own spiritual practices, and a deep commitment to this liberal faith. You promised me to bring your best selves to this relationship, to strive to be open, kind, and trusting and transparent in all of your interactions. You promise to be direct in your communication as well, slow to judge and quick to forgive, to see the best in each other. We made these promises to each other that day, and these promises still hold us as we look towards that goodbye on the horizon. Even in the hardest times, you still said yes to me, and you still said yes to you. You still said yes to this covenantal relationship, and for that, I will always be grateful. As we prepare to end this service and take a brief break before our annual meeting, I hope you continue to say yes to me, to each other, and to your staff. I hope we can center love in this goodbye, and that you will continue to center love after I leave. You are this beautiful congregation built on covenant. You are beloved to me. Let's all work together to make this goodbye as centered in love as possible. Amen, and blessed be.
Let's turn to 354 in our gray hymnal. And please rise in body or spirit and join in on singing, We Laugh, We Cry. One moment. Like you said, there are a lot of emotions here, and I didn't tell you we're going to do verse 1 only.
Will you turn and face each other? You can keep playing, Kaisa. It's beautiful. Turn and face each other. We believe in love, in the strength of love, and we have found a need to be together. Remember that you have each other today and the days forward. Amen, and blessed be.